Alrighty, good afternoon. So I'm gonna start off with the Mad Max franchise seems to be a major influence on Lord Humongous. What drew you to the world of Mad Max, and how does it inspire your sound and lyrics?
Um, the way we kind of approached it was just the idea of man, like, turning against one another. I
Mm.
kind of have some a little bit of beef with the fact that on like Metal Archives, I entered in the information for Lord Humongous, and I just kind of put our like lyrical themes as like war, death, famine, whatever. And somebody went in there and changed it to Mad Max franchise. I mean, like
Mhm.
clearly
Oh,
our
Yeah.
image is associated with that. Our name is
mhm.
associated with it, but we're not like a concept band about Mad Max. We're more like just kind of inspired by that whole idea of war and nuclear holocaust and all the stuff that brings to being in the thrash band.
Mhm.
But I mean, we're fans.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, no
Okay.
doubt.
Thank you for clarifying. I guess whoever did it, wow, they
yeah.
made
And,
it
and
otherwise.
I mean, we
Mhm.
steal a lot of imagery from that,
Oh yeah.
clearly. Like I mean,
Yeah.
even the shit that we do
Mhm.
in our video, but it's not really like we didn't set out to be like the Mad Max band.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's so much fertile ground there to talk about all the concepts of those films. But
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it just kind of happened.
Mhm.
That's good to know. At least you clarified it so when people watch the interview, they'll know.
yeah.
Mhm.
For my next question, no core, no breakdowns, no triggers, no keyboards, no clean singing, standard tuning. Your stance on these elements is pretty clear. What motivated this approach and how does it shape the band's identity?
I mean, I think like I remember opening Sodom
Yes.
M16 and seeing like no drum triggers were used. I think we were both,
Yep.
big Deicide fans, so we remember Glenn Benton saying like,
100%.
what was it? No vocal modulation
Yep.
or
No
something.
vocal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No
No
pitch
vocal.
shifters.
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so like I don't know, for us,
Mhm.
we just wanted to sort of take things back to the old ways. When we
Yep.
recorded our record, we thought, how would Exodus record this
Yep.
back when they recorded Bonded
Exactly.
by Blood?
Yeah.
We're totally fucking sick of bands that are halfway
Mhm.
straddling the fence between hardcore and metal. Like, it's fine
Yeah.
to bring in other genres, but we're
Mhm.
fucking tired of gym shorts.
Oh yeah. 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 Track six on stage and yeah. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
But you like to when you do it, do you how would I say it? Do you actually I'll come back to that. I don't know how to reword it. Would that
I
be
can
the response
say,
for yes?
before we move on, I can say I think the idea of Lord Humongous
Mhm.
just trying to stay close to the roots of what we feel is like extreme US like thrash and black metal, because
Yeah.
a lot of where we come from, being fans of those genres, we're talking about US black metal, which is like Paul Ledney,
Yeah.
Profanatica. We're talking about Exodus, Bay Area thrash. We want to incorporate those things in. And while
Mhm.
those things were the most pure, is when they were still kind of rooted in like almost outsider, outside the system, trying to fucking still be something that felt real. The
Yeah.
whole like murder in the front row, that
Yep.
stuff was about feeling
Yep.
something that was tangible and real.
Yeah.
So sorry about that noise there.
Oh, no worries. That's awesome though. So crossover pretty much. You like to make both.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's we really feel like we want to represent the extreme, like, black and thrash of the United States
Hmm.
scenes, and also bring in some war metal elements.
Hmm.
We don't feel like you can really be war metal and incorporate other stuff into it, or it's not war metal, but you can certainly be
Yeah.
a thrash band and bring war metal into it.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Mhm.
With a name like Lord Humongous and tracks like The Toe Cutter and White Line Nightmare, the band has a gritty apocalyptic vibe. Would you describe your sound to someone discovering you? Wait, sorry. How would you describe your sound to someone discovering you for the first time?
I don't know what you think.
Old school, old school thrashy, just pummeling too. No bullshit.
the our friend's band Bloody Run.
Hmm.
We were walking into a venue. We were playing a show together,
Yeah. Yep.
and their singer goes. I heard him talking to someone, and he
Hmm.
goes, "Yo, they look like blasphemy, but they sound like violence." And I
Yep.
was like, "Yo, what band is that? That sounds cool." He was like,
Exactly.
"You motherfucker." I
Yep.
was like, oh, "Okay."
Yep.
So that's how you would describe it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we would be very if somebody described us as like the J Dog called us thrash with sack, and we
Yep.
were really like that, like thrash metal I think is like such a energetic and powerful type of
Yeah.
music, but as soon as they started turning it into cartoon, silly, fun time party stuff, we were out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's almost everything out now, all the new stuff. Yeah.
I
So,
Yeah.
heard some of your stuff and it's pretty heavy and I like it.
mhm.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
We may not be the blackest black metal band
Mhm.
or
Oh
the
yeah.
thrashiest thrash metal band, but
Mhm.
I feel like, we try to just kind of bring in all the elements and make something that, so like, bands like Sodom
Mhm.
or Noir, the roots of
Yep.
black thrash um, are in those bands, but that's a very Scandinavian sound.
Yeah.
So we had to incorporate something that was from the US, which is mosh parts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of black thrash doesn't have mosh parts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we
Yeah.
we came from. And again, Paul Ledney,
Yep.
he may hate our band if you heard it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But what I hear him say all the time is like, I don't want people to stand around like fucking statues. What he means is
Hmm.
move around, mosh is okay.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
That's where you get the vibes from, And that's how you know people are vibing with your music when they start like moshing or pitting or stage diving and whatnot.
Yep.
It's
yeah.
crazy. For my next question, with a name like, oh wait, hold up. Sorry, wrong one. Your latest live album, Rehearsal Discharge, offers a raw, unfiltered experience. What was it like recording a live album? And how does performing live compare to recording in a studio for you?
It's a lot more energy to it, you know. You're almost so worried about the details recording, but when you're playing, especially in a room together, you just go all in, you know. And if you have a mistake, yeah, I know
Right.
I missed a few notes on that recording, but you can't tell.
Yeah.
You know, the energy's there. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The thing with a live playing live and recording live is it's all energy.
And there's putting out your rehearsal demo is a rite of passage.
Yep.
Who did it? Fucking blasphemy.
Uh-huh.
The old school guys will be like, "Yo, the first rehearsal demo for
Yep.
fucking Morbid Angel or
Yep.
whatever." So we felt like we needed to put it out, but when the time came, we
Hmm.
had a whole studio at our disposal.
Yep.
So it's like you can either make a shitty, low quality tape in the corner one,
Hmm.
which is cool. That's what the
Yeah.
blasphemy one sounds like.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
But we had everything at our disposal. So what you hear on that rehearsal discharge,
Hmm.
everything is mic'd. My vocals are through a PA and the PA is mic'd.
Yep.
So everything on there is untouched.
Yeah.
No vocal effects, no drum triggers, no
Hmm.
after shit. It's what we sound like live
Yeah.
in that moment. And
Hmm.
we don't get to practice much. So that
No.
was like 4 practices.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, in just one go. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
like the practice was the recording, pretty much.
Yep. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool, but I mean, at least it's better because I know there's some like where you hear them live, but they don't sound the same like when you listen to their album.
Exactly.
Or that you sound the same in both.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like it's the fact that when you're recording a record like that and you
Hmm.
hear a track and
Hmm.
all you have to do is go in and re-record it and it'll sound perfect.
Yeah.
It keeps you like really anchored to your fucking morals and
Yep.
values when you go like, no, it just needs to sound like what it sounded like on the
Yeah.
day. Like maybe I don't like my vocal take on one of the
Mhm.
songs.
Yeah.
That's just what it was.
Yeah.
And I hope people appreciate it for
Mhm.
that. It's kind of for me and my personal listening, it's replaced our album for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Okay. For my next question, in Rate by the Nukes, tracks like the Bullet Farmer and Comadoof is fireproof. Tap into powerful imagery. Could you tell us more about the creative process behind this album and what you aim to capture with it?
So lyrically, like I said, the imagery in some of those films is just so strong that it's almost like it is like heavy metal imagery. So
Mhm.
like the Bullet Farmer, that character in the series is really I mean, he could be a member of Blasphemy himself.
Easy, easy.
He's covered in bullets. He's got all this ornamental, like found, scrapped shit all over him, and
Yeah.
we just kind of wanted to paint the picture of something that felt like very post-apocalyptic and grim. And like I said, the titles are based on Mad Max, but within the songs, Bullet Farmer is just about the emptiness of like a battlefield afterwards, and how there's like life is completely temporary, but you can pick those shells up and refill them and kill someone again. It's just kind of like the idea of trying to paint some sort of picture of death and desolation and all that stuff that comes along with the type of music we're playing. I always say when you're going to be a black thrash band or a thrash band, you have a few options. Black thrash, you're basically singing about Satan. But again, that's Scandinavian sort of, bands like Sodom Do It, Nocturnal. We're from the US though, and I don't feel a personal connection. I don't know any of us do with Christianity or Satanism. The imagery is fucking cool, but for us, maybe something like clearly the United States is no like stranger to war. So we resonate with that, as well as we're Grindhouse movie fans. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Pittsburgh has a unique music scene with a rich underground culture. How has the local scene influenced Lord Humongous, and what role do you see yourselves playing in it?
Not local scene influence on us, local scene, not at all for me. What about you? I mean,
so Nunslaughter, right?
Is Nunslaughter? I always think of Nunslaughter as being Cleveland, but are they Pittsburgh?
Hey, I might be showing off my poser here. But sure. I know those guys, regardless, huge influence on me personally.
Pittsburgh is full of hardcore bands right now.
Right at the moment.
And we don't have anything to do with that as an influence. We're influenced by 3 records. It's fucking Goat Penis Apocalypse War. It's Sodom Code Red, and it's Exodus Bonded by Blood. That's the entirety of the influence for this band on the first record. The second record, he's been bringing in other influences like Toxic Holocaust,
Toxic Holocaust, Motorhead, all that. First, like Hell Awaits, Slayer, like all that. It's even like some Merciful Fate, old school, like your influences type stuff.
Our first record was made in like what, 4 months?
It was quick.
Like we formed a band and made a record in 4 months. So the next record kind of is going to feel a whole lot different in terms of the shape that it's taking, because we were just like we were writing a couple songs a day, because we had our whole fucking existence to write Lord Humongous songs. So
that's the 4 months. How do you feel about that? Like, were you happy with the outcome?
Yeah, totally.
It's impressive. It was able to make it happen,
Yeah, we had no we almost, like, when it was time to like go back and listen to it, like they sent our drummer mixed it and recorded it and everything, and he sent it back, and there was like no critique. It was like, yep, that's what we wanted to do.
That's cool. For my next question, was rehearsal discharge limited to 100 CD digipack copies? It's clear exclusivity is part of your aesthetic. Why did you decide to release in this format, and what do you think of the digital versus physical format debate?
I think digital sucks.
Oh yeah.
It feels I don't take a band seriously unless they put out something physical, and I know lots of bands will say they can't, they don't have the money to, but if all these fucking doofuses in their bedroom making raw black metal, and I love that shit, by the way. If they can release that on vinyl, then it's 5 dudes in a band.
Exactly. And it's almost like, if you're not putting out anything physical, you don't take yourself seriously. That's 100% the fact there.
Exclusivity with that first release, it was limited to 100 because we're not at the level where we need to be pressing up that many, although it's sold out already. But we don't know sometimes, so we're not trying to make it hard for people to get it. But with a band like us, when we printed up our vinyl with Jem's label,
Yeah.
There's the room in the budget for 100 records, and then
Hmm.
so we're not trying to create or make it hard for people to find our stuff, not at all.
Hmm.
But we also see a lot of value in things that are like limited or collectible. It's
Yeah.
part of the experience,
Yeah.
right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so like in many years from now, you never know, like your records could sell for a lot.
Mm.
Like if
Yeah.
you, I mean, because do you plan to become like a very big known band, or are you happy as is?
We want to play Nuclear War Now
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to play with like for us being
Yeah.
famous would be like we played a show with Blasphemy or
Yeah.
opening for Exodus without Paul Bailoff doesn't mean a whole fucking lot
Yeah.
to us, but we would do it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
As long as we
definitely.
don't have to pay to play,
Yep.
which is
Mm.
fucking that's pretty much the name of the game. But no, like
Yeah.
playing with I don't know, man, if someone were like, yo, you can play a show with like fucking
Mm.
goat semen, we would be pumped,
Oh yeah, yeah. I would lose my shit.
yeah.
That would be killer.
So we don't want to play, we don't want to, let's be honest, we're not
Mm.
going to be anything that makes any sort of mainstream market because our
Yeah.
album is called Raped by the Nukes, so we're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Oh my God. For my next question, your independent approach to music releases gives you a lot of creative freedom. What have been some challenges and rewards for working independently?
uh Honestly, all reward.
Yeah, pretty much. Other than the limited releases, but even
Mm.
then, it probably still would do a limited release of certain stuff. So.
Yeah. Maybe the problem that we have right now, I mean, we're still really new,
Hmm.
but um, our label is Jem's label, and I still
Yeah.
consider that, we're independent DIY essentially
Yeah.
because Jem's label's one guy.
Yeah.
But one of the big problems with that is distribution power,
Yeah.
and booking agent stuff.
Hmm.
Like again, we see a lot of bands playing with bands that we should be playing with that
Yep.
are shitty bands that don't fit the bill,
Hmm.
but they're willing to fucking pay
Oh,
out. I listened to an interview with someone from Gorgoroth not too
Hmm.
long ago, and he kind of exposed him, but he's like, yeah, man, back in the day, Abigail Williams paid to play
Hmm.
every show, and we
Yep.
all hated him.
Yep.
And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be an Abigail Williams.
Yeah.
Not to shit on Abigail Williams, but I
Hmm.
mean, it's like, some bands you see on all these tours and they're opening for these, bigger acts, and you think,
Hmm.
oh, they must be doing it. No, they're fucking paying it.
that
Yeah,
might be too
exactly.
much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I had no idea. I thought it was because of their talent, but I mean, if they're in every show, then they have money to throw around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
Mhm.
Hell Butcher will put us on when they fucking play the States.
That'd be great.
That'd be a
Yeah.
life-changing event for us.
Hmm.
There we go.
Yep.
For where you're from, like your area, is there like often like metal shows there? Or do you have to like travel far to like play a show?
We have one club.
Yeah.
So our band is based out of
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh because that's where the studio is. That's where our drummer
Yeah.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us live in West Virginia.
Hmm.
So we have like one club here that
Yeah.
plays, like when Obituary comes around, they'll
Yep.
play here. Otherwise, it's we're playing Washington D.C. We're talking about doing some stuff. We can't really talk too much about it, but like next year, going on tour,
Hmm.
headed to Texas, some other places. Like we have to go where metal is,
Yep.
and so
Cool.
a normal show for us is like, oh, we're gonna drive to 8 hours to Indiana, play a show,
Yep.
and
Oh
drive.
wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yeah.
worth it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, for my next question, Rate by the Nukes and its themes are bold and intense. What message or experience do you hope your fans walk away with after listening to it?
I don't know. What do you think?
Mm.
I don't know, man. I think
Mm.
what do they walk away with? I really hope that they walk away wanting to see it live.
Yeah.
That the record itself is really kind of structured to be something that you can mosh to.
Yeah.
And it's like we fully intended to be a live band when we made that
Yeah,
record, and it's
exactly.
like unless you make a record, you can't play live.
Yeah.
So I hope it brings people to the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there was a specific message in the record for people to take out of it other than just wanting to kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you performed like Raped by the Nukes before, or it's just or not yet?
Yeah, we play
Oh,
every show. We play the whole album from start to finish.
wow.
Yeah. We when we were writing our record, we knew that we wanted to make a record that was the exact like amount of time that it took to play a show as like an opener.
Yeah.
So it's like 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and that was the goal.
Mhm.
And yeah, every single Lord Humongous show is raped by the Nukes from start to finish, including the goat penis cover,
Yeah.
including the samples, everything.
Yep. Mhm.
Wow. And then everything is 35 minutes, you said, right? Or just
Yeah,
for the album itself?
just the album. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we just play that live in its entirety from start to finish.
Mhm.
That's cool. And then for my next question and last question, what's next for Lord Humongous? Can fans look forward to more releases, live shows, or new creative directions in the near future?
Yeah, we're doing a split with Morden Red from Texas. He already mentioned it on his channel. That dude
Mhm.
picked up on us before anybody else did. That's why he's the
Yeah.
only person that is thanked in our album.
Mhm.
um, and we like his band, so we're gonna do a split 12-inch. I think it's gonna be on Jim's label and a like combo with Goat Throne, as far as I
Yeah.
understand. I think it's gonna be called Bonded by the Bomb, and it's just going to be two sides, one Lord Humongous, one Mordant Red,
Mhm.
US Black, and Black and Thrash Extreme Metal. That's what's next, and
Mhm.
then touring and playing shows as much as possible.
Yep.
New direction wise, we wanted to get heavier and
Yeah.
more, add a little bit of more war
Yep.
than we did. I think Raped by the Nukes is pretty like heavily leaning into the thrash.
Yeah.
The next one leans more into War and Black, but still has mosh parts, still catchy, you know.
And then by when do you think all that would be ready? Like the double-sided one they were mentioning about?
We move really fucking fast in this band. So.
Yeah. 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 Maybe they.
I don't know. We
Yeah.
have the songs written.
Yeah.
I sat down with our other guitar player like yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before, and he brought like basically finished songs. He's got finished songs, so like
Yeah.
it'll be quick. We already are getting started on the cover. We have the basically the track order. We've talked to Morden Red about it. Like we're strategizing now because like
Mhm.
I just feel like there's no reason to do the old like, oh, we'll wait a couple years for the
Yeah.
next one because we're not touring the world in that time, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna play as many shows as we can, but we need to get music out to people as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah, for the public, pretty much.
Yep.
I like that though. So then, because I know you mentioned that you guys live not near each other.
Mhm.
So the meetup spot is in Pittsburgh, and then from there, you say you have a studio there, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then from there, you do everything there within like, sorry, I'm trying to think what to say. Within a span of like how many weeks would you say?
As far as like how long it'll take, probably from start to finish,
Yeah, pretty much.
we demo everything out. At this
Yeah.
point, we're making demos that almost sound like final recordings.
Yeah.
So those will go to the drummer. He'll write his drum parts, and then the drum parts will come back to everybody, and we'll refine all the guitar parts, and
Yeah.
then we'll go in and record it. I think the goal is, everything like direct through the amps, as
Yeah.
much of like, no like fucking bullshit afterwards as possible. And
Yep.
then usually lyrically, I write lyrics. I write like choruses beforehand and then write the
Mhm.
verses and most of the lyrics while I'm listening to everybody record. I sit there and write. So it's a very
Mhm.
quick process. And then it's record pressing, right, which takes a couple
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
That's amazing though. You all work very well together, and that's why you're able to release music quick.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, give me 1 second.